Every now and again there'd be a rugby game that is like a once-off game. The first one of those games that I remember was, I think it was about 2006, when Corne Krige had a benefit match to celebrate his illustrious career at the Western Province, and the Western Province team came up against an international side which included guys like Justin Marshall, and Carlos Spencer was also in the side, and it was an electrifying game. Corné Krige played like he always played, 110%, and Bob Skinstad was on reserve and came on and also played a storming match. But this is how Corné Krige remembers the match.
Hi Tace, it's Corne Krige here. I hope you're well, man. Just thinking back to that very special game, the Western Province 15 against the World 15, which was my last game at Newlands, was an incredible day for me, quite an emotional day, as it was my last game and also the first game that my daughter Sophia came to watch. She was still very small. I think you got a beautiful photo of her on the field as well. So I look forward to seeing all the photos and all the memories, and thanks for being amazing and sending those photos through to me and to my family. I really do appreciate it.
Corné Krige, one of the legends of South African rugby, Springbok captain, and just an incredible nice guy. After the match I managed to get on the pitch and meet some of the players and got some incredible pictures that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Another match that stood out at Newlands that was also sort of a once-off was when Saracens came under the coaching of Eddie Jones and played the Western Province Stormers, or the Stormers at that stage, and young Skulk Brits played in that game. I still remember he got over the try line to score a try, but there was a bit of a clash of heads, and afterwards when I zoomed in on one of the pictures I could see the blood squirting out of the eye, just above the eye of one of the players. But they let him off, he got stitched up and he was back on the field not too long afterwards. Those were the days before head injury assessments. In today's game he would definitely be off, probably out for a couple of weeks, but those days they just came back on, bandage around the head, and they played on. Pretty special match. Afterwards I had pictures taken with Eddie Jones and Neil de Kock, and I managed to go up to the box and spend a bit of time there with Francois Pienaar and one of the Saracens co-owners, Dominique Sylvester, the guy who eventually helped us to get to the top of Kilimanjaro, which was something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Afterwards I managed to get to one or two Saracens matches in London as well. Drove on the team bus. Brendan Venter, a mate of mine, was coaching at that stage, knew Dominique Sylvester and knew some of the Saracens guys, so it was pretty awesome to meet the players and be on the tour, on the team bus with them for one or two of the matches, and managed to take some nice pictures out of the stands as well, which is something I'll remember. Another game that stood out for me at Newlands was in 2005, after I photographed my first test match. The Springbok legends played the All Black legends, and a lot of these players played in the 95 World Cup against each other. For me it was really special to see my heroes, guys like Uli Schmid, who I'd never seen play, played. And I remember speaking to Brendan Venter in the gym about 3 or 4 days before the match, and I said to him, Brendan, it probably won't be a very hard match, it'll be a bit of running around and a little bit like touch rugby. And he said, nooit, never. These guys will give their all. And you could see when Ian Jones and Nick Mallett and these guys walked out of the tunnel, you could see in their eyes that they were going to give everything they had to win the match. Typical pride when the Springboks and the All Blacks clashed. I remember Uli Schmid running towards the try line, and he got tackled just before he could get over the try line, and you could see in his eyes that he was giving everything. Joost van der Western played a storming match as always, kicked for goals, scored tries like he normally did. Joel Stransky played in the match, Justin Swart played, a lot of the Springbok legends, obviously Brendan Venter played as well, and a lot of the All Black guys played as well, so it was pretty special to photograph that match and to see these guys play. Even after their careers had ended, they still gave 110%. Another match that, it's not always the internationals or the big matches that stand out. Sometimes a club rugby match can be a memorable one. And I remember back in 2006, Jean de Villiers had some serious injuries, and on his comeback path he had to play club rugby again, and he played for Marties. And I was actually there to photograph a friend of mine who played centre with Jean. I didn't even know Jean was playing, and pretty special to photograph Jean de Villiers playing club rugby after he had already played a couple of test matches and he was already a household name in Springbok rugby. This is how John remembers it.
Hi everyone, it's Jean de Villiers here. I've known Tace for about 15 years. I think we first met when we did a Stormers pre-season camp at Lawrenceford when he was still involved there. Having sent through the photos now, you know, Skalk Burger was never a big guy to get in the gym, even though you won't say that with, you know, if you look at his physique, but he was able to document Skalk even doing some weight work in the gym. So I think when you look back now on a career, you know, being a has-been, it's great to look through those photos, and they certainly helped to document my career in a way. You know, stills compared to video sometimes tells a totally different story. So he's been able to do both, you know, that's great for me now, you know, to be able to share with my kids as well. One special game that probably stands out is in 06 when I broke 2 ribs against Scotland, and then went back and played for Marties 2 games before the home leg of Tri Nations. Played against Villagers at the Corne Krige Stadium, you know, looking back at those photos as well, it certainly brings back fantastic memories and quite a cool experience. So yeah, Tace, thanks for the years of documenting my career, and thanks for the friendship. Cheers.
Jean de Villiers will go down as one of the greats of all time. You know, played over 100 test matches, came back from multiple injuries, and he's just an all-round nice guy. He even gave me a lift in London one day. He saw me standing in front of my hotel, stopped his taxi, grabbed my bags, put it in the back of the taxi, and he gave me a lift to Heathrow Airport, which is pretty special for a Springbok captain to acknowledge a non-player like me. So these rugby matches stand out, and if I'm lucky and blessed, I hope to be doing plenty more of these type of matches.